Hi, I'm David Fahm, and this is my presentation on Jesus in popular culture. I'm going to take my face off so you guys can concentrate on the presentation. This is my representation of Jesus in popular culture. It is a TikTok, and we will watch it together.
Hello, I've made enough bread and fish for exactly 5,000 people.
All right, so that was the little media clip of Jesus there, and we'll start. So I think the purpose of this TikTok was to represent Jesus as a human. This TikTok was a reference to the biblical event where Jesus feeds 5,000 hungry civilians with only 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. So yeah, the purpose was to humanize Jesus while still portraying an ancient version of him. This picture here is just a funny picture of modern Jesus, as I would imagine to be ripped. So everyone in this TikTok, they're still wearing a tunic, but they're all talking and acting as if they're modern day civilians that had gone back in time and taken the food for themselves. The punchline of this TikTok is obviously that Jesus encounters a discussion with a modern day vegan. And so he actually takes the time to entertain her and her unreasonable demands. And oftentimes, when I think of Jesus, I commonly think of a divine figure in history who performed these miracles beyond human capabilities. For example, Jesus rising from the dead. It sounds impossible, but through faith, we are capable of believing it. So Jesus appears to be a very powerful and serious being in the biblical context, but I think it's hard to imagine him as a humorous and patient human. And we see that in the context of this TikTok. We see that Jesus does demonstrate humor and impatience, and that kind of makes him less divine and more human. Specifically in the video, we see that he uses the phrase bon appetit when handing out this bread, despite the fact that he isn't French, he's not in a French setting. We can assume that he's probably close to the Sea of Galilee where this event actually occurred. But yeah, he simply says this arbitrarily, just as some of us might, as we add a humorous twist to what would otherwise be a boring phrase of just, enjoy your food. A more prominent example of Jesus being humanized in this TikTok was his encounter with the vegan. While I imagine there was probably some veganism during this time, I don't think it was much of a trend or as popular as it was today. So it's pretty funny to see Jesus encounter the same situations we do, and handle it probably similar to how we would. It would still be just as funny to see the situation if the TikTok took place, a couple of decades ago, because that's how new and prevalent the expression of veganism really is. Other parts of this interaction that added humor to the situation was the fact that, someone is requesting these specialized orders according to their vegan diet in the midst of a shortage of food. You can probably empathize with Jesus here and think about, how appalled he is that someone is making these requests. It's just icing on the cake that he can perform the miracle of feeding 5,000 people with 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. But, even Jesus can't perform the miracle of satisfying a vegan. So, this makes Jesus so much more relatable. We can agree with his actions, his choice of words, how he deals with the vegan. And so, Jesus is very humanized in this situation. And I think the creator does this because, he's likely a Christian himself. He creates other content about Jesus. And so, if he can make Jesus relatable like this, then maybe others are likely to believe in him as well. So I want to touch on how this connects to the broader concept of Jesus in contemporary culture. We are living in an age of radicalization and scientific and technological advancement. So we've only become more prone to asking the bigger questions. Who are we? What are we? Who made us? What's beyond Earth? Those sorts of questions. And so we're overwhelmed with so much information. And I think we kind of allow our curiosity and logic to lead our intentions instead of our faith, especially in this day and age. I've even learned in this class that atheism is the third most popular religion. So a significant amount of us have stopped trying to learn about Jesus, and many of us know nothing of him, myself included, which is again why I took this class. So while this TikTok does it pokes fun at some of society's trends like veganism, and it interprets Jesus as a relatable, funny guy, it really does introduce us to supposedly one of his many miracles. It encourages us to relate more with Jesus and to see him as a real person rather than maybe some of us think as a fictional character. So that is the end of my presentation. That's how I interpreted Jesus in this, and thanks for listening.